All right, good afternoon, wherever we are today, Nashville. Travel around to too many things and you forget where you are each day. All right, so we are, we've got some awesome logos on the screen. This is the QHIN dating game. We have 3 Bachelor QHINs on the stage. We are going to do a lightning round. We have 4 more to come right behind. So to quickly introduce our 3 current Bachelor QHINs. Let's see, are you sitting in the order I've got you here? 1, 2, 3, perfect. First off, Bachelor QHIN number 1 on my far left, your far right. Joining us from, or based in, QHIN based in, Boston, Massachusetts, where I am told that 250 years later, they still love jokes about tea. So that's always good to do there. Second up, we have Bachelor QHIN number 2, joining us from the, sounds amazing. I would love to visit just because of the name, Mountain View, California. And finally, Bachelor QHIN number 3, representing an organization that you might think of associated with cows in Minneapolis. He actually joins us from the less cow-filled, more rainy Portland, Oregon. And our wonderful bachelorette looking for a QHIN today, the one and only Dee Dee Davis.
Hello.
And I am the host today, Alan Swenson, still.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. This is going to be fun, so get ready to chuckle a little bit here and there. All right. So I'm going to play the role of the bachelorette, and really thinking about the questions I want to know to get to know these guys better. So, all right. So the first Bachelor number 1 from Boston, Massachusetts. I'm looking for a long-term relationship, and I don't want any surprises. I don't want them to turn into any issues that might lead to the end of our relationship. I want to make sure it's the right one. Tell me something about yourself that I should know before we start out that you would normally try to stay away from, get it out there, and reveal on the first date.
Rough start.
I asked good questions.
Well, thank you very much. And I'll tell you that the main thing that you need to be aware of is walking into this whole interop land is it's still hard, right? So we're here to help. But in many ways, you're drinking from a fire hose. It's a lot of data, and you need to be thinking about the workflows and how you really want to go about this relationship. And a part of that is getting through the first steps, which is making sure you're trustworthy and your customers are trustworthy. We take trust very seriously. We want to make sure that, that your family meshes with our family, right? But then we can help you through the workflows. But, we believe that, I believe, as the candidate bachelor, that it's important for things to be embedded in what you do. So if you're an electronic health record, very important that you have the flows that are appropriate for your clinical users. And unfortunately, the real, I can't give you that answer, right? Because your flows are different than some others, and we'll help. And I hope we have many dates to go over that and fix your problems.
Talk, communication. Communication is key. That's a good one. All right. The next question is for our Bachelor number 2 from Mountain View, California. I'm very protective of my patient's data. How would you make me, and more importantly, my data, feel safe?
Well, thanks. Great question. First and foremost, it's all about transparency and clarity of what and how we would handle your data. And so first and foremost, it's your data, and we're just a custodian of it. We're going to protect it in a dedicated tenant. All the QHINs have gone through high trust certification, so we're, checked. We've got that particular piece taken care of. But fundamentally, we protect your data. We have it in our system. And there are really only 3 purposes out there that we would actually use your data for. We're responding to the use cases that you've signed up for us with. We're handling your reciprocity network requirements, so sharing back in QHIN, sharing back in other networks. And lastly, we use the data to improve our master patient index and record locator service, which is used to deliver these same services to you. That's it. Ultimately, also from a security perspective, we have the usual policies and procedures and technical safeguards as you would naturally expect. But I think also it's important to know that we have a dedicated staff from a technical perspective. Cybersecurity is always top of mind with folks these days. But a dedicated DevOps team and a dedicated cybersecurity tech team that's constantly monitoring the dark web, looking for threats, checking the infrastructure, and updating it literally on a daily basis. In fact, we have some internal things where the whole phishing test of checking if employees click on links and so forth. There's constant education going on there. So ultimately, we're constantly striving to make sure that the data that we're entrusted with is protected. So that's what we do.
Thank you. All right, Bachelor, hey, some audience appreciation. All right, Bachelor number 3. You've been around the block a few times. I heard rumors. Why are you dating now? And what are you hoping to get out of this relationship?
Well, I have been around the block a bit, about 20 years of doing this, which is quite a bit. Looking to settle down, certainly, which is really exciting for me. But in all seriousness, first of all, these sunglasses really help with the lights. So this was, thank you, Melanie.
A little jealous.
Yeah, you can borrow them later if this goes well. But in all seriousness, we're really excited about participating in TEFCA. We were a little bit later to the game. That was actually a very deliberate decision by Surescript, by us, and really wanted to make sure that the direction that TEFCA was going was a big step forward in interoperability in terms of broadening the types of participants, so bringing in pharmacies, bringing in health plans, bringing in PBMs, and also really supporting the necessary use cases that go along with that, so really expanding into healthcare operations. And at the end of the day, I think this is going to bring a lot of value to our customers, and that's what we're excited about.
Awesome.
Thank you, Bachelors. Dee Dee has time for one more question of each of you before she has to make a big decision, because we only have 2 questions in this lightning round for each of you.
Yes.
So answer well. You have to win her over.
Time here. All right. Bachelor number 1.
Oh, boy.
If you had to get my parents' permission to date you, what would you tell them?
Wow.
First of all mothers love me. So that's, always be nice to mom first and foremost. First of all, we'll treat you the way you should be treated. I think it's important to know that I come from a family that believes in trust, that believes that that's a sacred vow amongst what we do in Interop, first and foremost. Also, we like to have fun. We like to innovate. We like to be, at the edge of what we can do in our little safe trust world. So, to your parents, you will have a great future with us. We're looking forward to the merger of the families, and we expect it will be a long and fruitful relationship.
All right, good answer. All right, Bachelor number 2. I'm a value-based care organization. How would you take care and make me feel special, especially, and how?
Well, happy to answer that. So value-based care has been around for a while, obviously, ever since the ARA High Tech Act, ACOs and so forth, but these national networks have been really focused on the providers first, and value-based care is sort of the new kid on the block when it comes to that. So there are slightly different requirements and needs, and we want to make sure that we can address that for you. So we like to think of ourselves as being a one-stop shop for you. So in terms of organizations that are looking to do that, we can be your treatment use case, we can be your delegated access use case supporter through TEFCA. And in addition to that, we go well beyond TEFCA. So we, as Health Gorilla, talk to 5 different national networks. So we're a QHIN, obviously Care Equality, CommonWell, eHealth Exchange, and we happen to be a participant on the data exchange framework in California. Over drinks, I'll be happy to tell you about that experience. And so we provide access to all of that. In addition to that, we provide a bunch of services around and use cases around data duplication, a single query to hit all of those networks, retrieving the data and converting it into FHIR so you can get the precise data that you need for your use cases rather than dealing with those joyous large CCD packages that are quite tedious to deal with sometimes. And lastly, even going further, we have a couple of additional services. We can be your lab ordering network, we can be your encounter notification network, and we can also provide you with supplemental lab data above and beyond what goes in that. So again, back to the one-stop shop theme, we think that we can make your life easier by working with us.
Good answer. Thank you. All right, bachelor number 3. If I pick you and we stay together, what do you think our future looks like?
Well, first off, I hope you do pick me, and I hope we do stay together. I learned a long time ago that a happy wife, happy partner, happy customer is a happy life, and I certainly hope that that would apply here, and I certainly think that it does. I think in terms of what the future looks like, I mentioned it in some of the other questions, but 2 things I really want to talk about. So one, as we bring in healthcare operations into this relationship and start to think about what that means, we had a very fun conversation this morning about what is treatment. I would love to have the conversation about what is healthcare operations, and I'm sure it would be probably just, if not more, exciting. And so really, from a Surescript's perspective, being able to convene those stakeholders, create that trust, and have those messy conversations. Families have messy conversations, and we love to help facilitate messy conversations. I think the other thing that I would say is, at the end of the day, and not to be dismissive of the fellow bachelors, but we're commodities, right? I mean, there's 4 more after us that are coming up on stage.
Speak for yourself.
And so what it really comes down to is this data that is available to us, and really not available to us, it's really available to all of you as potential customers, but what is the additional data that we can bring to bear as part of that? What are the additional offerings that we can create with you, leveraging other data that we may have, leveraging our customers' data to really drive differentiated patient outcomes. So that's the future, if you're interested.
Good answer.
All right, thank you, bachelors 1, 2, and 3. And Dee Dee, you don't get to decide anything yet because we have 4 more eligible bachelors for you to question. So I'll welcome these first 3. Thank you for your answers. We'll bring up our next set of eligible bachelor QHINs. Even got a theme song. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. How many watched the dating game back in the 70s? Raise your hands. Hey, quite a few. So yes, nostalgia.
All right, we have 4 more QHIN bachelors ready to go. All right, first off, QHIN bachelor number 1, based in Vienna, not that Vienna, Virginia, but well, my card says round 2 QHIN. Number 4, QHIN number 4. Actually based in Colorado, personally based in Colorado, but Vienna. Second up, QHIN number 2.
Oh no.
Based in Boise, Idaho, personally located in the sunny state of Arizona.
Oh. Is that cheating?
Hey, just a second.
QHIN number 4.
Can I
QHIN
bring
number
out my
4 is
champagne?
cheating. Flowers and a moon pie. He knows the
Yeah,
way to.
moon pie.
He knows the way to the lady's heart.
From my home state, Tennessee.
Next up, it sounds tough. QHIN number 3 comes from Fishkill, New York. I don't know what they do there, but I would not want to be a fish. And finally, QHIN number 4 from the great state of Kansas. I don't even know where this name came from to make a joke about. You could so easily make jokes about it. Overland Park. I've never been to an Underland Park. I don't even know. 4 bachelors, 2 questions each. And Dee Dee, back over to you with your questions for these wonderful bachelors.
We have different questions too. All right, bachelor number 1. Thank you for the wonderful gifts. That was an added touch. All right, first question. I want to be surprised. You have already done that, so maybe I give you credit, but how else will you thrill me?
Well, I like to make my participants feel special.
This is not R-rated. This is G.
So, we would put a sparkle in your step, and I think we could even light you on fire. And a lot of people don't realize that we've been live on Fire R4, Public Health, for years, and we could do the same for you. We also are exchanging via Fire using Da Vinci specifications for CDEX, for healthcare operations between providers and payers, and we hope to get that into production very, very soon. And coordination, management, HEDIS, and other quality reporting.
Good answers. All right, bachelor number, oh, you got audience applause there, another appreciation. All right, bachelor number 2. If I were a large health system, what would you do to impress me?
I'll remind everyone this is a voluntary QHIN program. What I do to impress, I think that a relationship most often sits on a foundation of common ground. I think if there's common ground, it typically starts very strongly. I've learned a few things. One, you have a nickname called acute, right? And we have a nickname called post-acute. So it seems to be a little bit of yin and yang. A lot of people like to refer to the no-2 QHIN as the post-acute QHIN. And inside of that, not only do we have nicknames that kind of work, we also have friends that go to your facilities and our facilities. So we have common friends, right? So unfortunately, sometimes that ambulance shows up at your ED, likely enabled by the no-2 QHIN. Transition customers, transition care to skilled nursing, to the home, other places. Those are our same friends, and we're communicating together. So I think we have a lot in common. And when we do, I think that leads to a great relationship. So I think we're on our way.
Good answer.
Yeah.
All right, bachelor number 3. My love language is receiving gifts. I promise I didn't share that with anybody. How would you feel, or how would you make me feel loved?
What?
My love language is receiving gifts. How would you make me feel loved?
Oh, talking about gifts? Okay, hang on. Oh, wait a minute, I can't do this because of my...
Yeah, watch out the microphone. Don't lose it.
What is happening?
Wardrobe.
Two can play at this game.
Oh, no. Oh no. Oh, my.
Oh, boy.
Thank you.
The gifts are just starting. So how would I show my love with gifts? Well, having gone through the holiday season, and I think an elephant stepped on my wallet. I don't know if there's any more money to buy gifts, but anyway, we in terms of gifts, our QHIN is very interested through our EMPI and our record locator service to be able to bring back as much data as possible. So for you, I would make sure that everything that's possibly out there is coming your way.
Good answer. All right, and bachelor number 4. If you had to get my parents' permission to date you, what would you tell them?
All right. Well, I think I would have to probably start out and say, we kind of really cut our teeth with the populations we serve today that is based on these meaningful use dollars that maybe didn't quite make it to who we need it to make it to, so to speak. So a lot of our lion's share representation has to do with community behavioral health providers and things like that in the specialty practices. So one thing I would do is go through and talk to you about, or talk to them, your parents, about how much we represent those populations and how we put that into our whole person care approach and strategy to build our QHIN today. So also, I'm a fantastic cook, so there's that.
That's a good thing to know. All right, bachelor number 1. In today's modern dating environment, I'm a little bit worried about diseases. How do I know you are clean? I didn't write.
Wow.
I'm sorry, what was the second part of the question? Thank you. Yeah, so eHealth Exchange is also really concerned about diseases. And in fact, we've been sending over 150 notifiable conditions to public health agencies in all 50 states for the past 4 years. And with TEFCA, because we have connections, all of the electronic case reporting notifications for diseases are going to go through us anyway. So you may as well start with us.
Good answer. All right, bachelor number 2. If I were a large health system, what would you do to impress me? Oh, wait a minute. Hey, I asked you that question already. My mistake. If we took a long walk on a beach through a hospital together, how would you protect my health information and keep it secure?
Well, interesting. So, first of all, I think that I've heard that you're very wealthy.
You heard wrong.
And thus I can understand why you have some concerns. And the currency in this case happens to be your data. Right? So you're actually a very rich organization because of that. And so I think the question is very appropriate and should be very concerned, given that people tend to target wealth and likely will take advantage of that. So as you think about that, you think about me and consider our QHIN. One, I think that we've been very loud about that topic. Matter of fact, you may have seen us in social media just recently. As everybody talks about EMPIs and RLSs, we talk about pre-check, right? And if anybody's had a chance to read that, you'll notice that we're very concerned about data to the extent that we don't want it. And we're doing everything to avoid your data and your wealth that you've created. Your data is your business, not ours. And we'll protect that. And I think that we do that by what we say publicly, which makes it very difficult to run from when you tell the whole world exactly what your stance is and what you're going to do to protect your wealth. So during this long walk, I'll explain more detail for you on that.
Sounds
I'm not
like
going to fake it by giving you gifts early. I'm going to do it with substance. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, counter here. Good food for thought. All right, bachelor number 3. I think the best relationships involve flexibility. What kind of options will you provide me if I commit to your QHIN?
First of all, the people setting this up, when are you bringing up the mud pit? That we're going to, because if there's a tie, we're going to wrestle, right?
Sure.
Okay, all right.
We can do that anyway if you want.
Yeah, right. Oh, we can do it anyway. Good.
Looking around? That's good. You looking around?
So, flexibility, I think I've had it from when I was a teenager. I sang in the boys' choir. I played in the junior philharmonic. I rode in rodeos, barrel raced in rodeos. So flexibility's been there all along. As MedAllies came up, we've been through health information exchange, one of the early ones in Eastern New York, direct secure messaging nationally, care of quality implementer, QHIN, so flexibility. I could say though, with our current QHIN, we started strictly as a conduit, not holding data in the middle. We have a different model, but as we've evolved, it's been clear with some of our newer customers and in the future, we need to have that capability, not in the middle, we've now got it on the edge. So we've got a full-on capability of running a warehouse that can translate, convert to fire, et cetera, so that if a customer wants to work with us and needs something more than the source data coming in and needs something done in a more robust fashion with a repository, we can have that specifically for that customer, so we have that flexibility.
Good answer. All right, last bachelor number 4. I think the best relationships involve flexibility. Wait a minute, wrong card. I'm not doing so good here as a bachelorette, am I? In today's modern dating environment, I'm worried. That's not. Wait a minute. Is that the same one you got? Bachelor number 4. That was the same question. Well, it's the same question. I don't know who made this mistake, but I'm going to give you a question hopefully you know. All right, same question to bachelor number 4. Good. I think the best relationships involve flexibility. What kind of options will you provide me if I commit to your QHIN?
All right.
Don't you dare say what I said.
What John said. Okay, never mind. So one thing you'll get with our QHIN is, as far as flexibility and options go, is I think we all know the QHINs are building to a standard that we all have to abide by, right? But where the differentiation may occur is amount of data being transferred across, right? And then also the types of data. So one thing you can be assured of with flexibility is you'll have a safe, secure way to exchange that data, and that means infrastructurally safe, but also from a sensitive data perspective, correct, right? So there's a lot of sensitive data out there that may or may not need to get where it's going, and especially when it comes to robust consent policies at the patient level all the way up through the organization level. So you'll have those flexibility options. From an exchange perspective, we have a long history of being an EHR vendor and providing those types of add-on services, which you will get access to if you utilize us as your QHIN. Some of those exchange purposes I think we discussed today a little bit are still remain to be seen, so to speak. So that's one thing you can also count on, is as we kind of flesh those out, requirements, things like that, we'll definitely be able to adapt and provide you with the most value as using us as a QHIN.
Good answers.
Well, thank you to our next 4 QHIN bachelors. I'll invite you all to leave the stage as well at this point. We have had 7 wonderful QHIN bachelors. Round of applause. Now, I will say personally, I do not envy Dee Dee's position. The last one.
I'm not giving up.
One is refusing to leave. We'll have to call security here shortly. I do not envy Dee Dee's position, having to pick from these 7 wonderful bachelor QHINs. But unfortunately, that is the name of the game. Dee Dee, you've got a tough choice to make.
I do. A lot of food for thought. I need a little bit of time to think about it, though.
Can I give you one more option?
Sit down.
You know, we heard a lot today. We learned a lot, hopefully. I don't know. I had some rounds of applause What do the audience think? Let's do this and narrow it down. What the very first group of 3 and the second group of 4? Any preferences for at least the grouping?
Nothing.
Nothing. You're not helping me.
Dee Dee, it's your decision.
Yeah. You know, good food for thought.
You need to spread your love around. Different purposes use different.
Aha! Share the love, right? You know, you're putting me in a very big, difficult spot here. You know, I'm not supposed to play favorites. And I'm not positive that my husband of 35 years would approve. I did tell him about this, and I asked him if he wanted to come, but he didn't want to play along. So, I don't know. What do you recommend?
Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time.